Lauren's going to bring up the lights. And Sandra's getting us started on Facebook Live. And my message today is titled Justice for All. All right. In today's climate, we might think and feel as if justice is being distorted. I think we look around and see certain conditions and think, oh. But the conditions might be about the refugees, the homeless, the kids in foster care, and or veterans. But maybe we don't think there is enough justice in the world for all people, no matter what race or belief system they have or sexual orientation they have. And of course, a lot of people are in an uproar screaming for justice in our political system. Hi, you two. But on another note, I have to say special note, sometimes we just create the injustice ourselves, don't we? We know somebody maybe that won a lottery, or maybe they won the Lions Club 50-50 drawing, that $3,000, and you think, gosh, maybe they should have won it. You ever think that? You see somebody and you think, they won the lottery, they won this car, they don't deserve that. Maybe it was just something simple at trivia night. They don't deserve that gift card. I mean, we get in that mindset sometimes of the silliest things being unjust. Or maybe you've been trying to get a raise at work. You know, you've worked hard. You think, oh, I deserve this new position. I deserve that raise. And you find out somebody else, your coworker, gets it. And all of a sudden you're thinking, they don't deserve that raise. They sit there in the break room all the time. And I'm out here working hard to get that position. Anybody ever go there? Or you might even know somebody that got a job that you wanted, and you said, gosh, why did they get that and I'm not getting my break? We think that even our employment situation is unjust sometimes. And all of that feeling and thinking goes out into the universe. But how about when you were a kid? You know, did you have that sibling rivalry? You thought one of your brothers or sisters got more than you did? Listen, I grew up with 9 brothers and sisters. So there was a lot of times everybody got in an uproar over something being unjust or unfair. Oh, they got an extra popsicle, or they got an extra fish stick. We used to have fish stick contests, you know, who could eat the most fish sticks. And if it was down to that one last fish stick, it had to get divided up sometimes in order for it to be fair. Now, how crazy is that? That sibling rivalry sometimes, or that whole idea of, you know, who's the favorite can come into play even as we become adults. I mean, I know my adult siblings sometimes still have this competitiveness of trying to one-up the next one to make it sound like they're something greater and better. While the other ones are thinking, oh, this is unjust, this is not fair because they're not better than me. We go through this stuff and these feelings and stuff, and it just is negative energy going out. But I think the reason why that when we have these feelings of jealousy or, you know, sibling rivalry or negative energy towards somebody getting something good is from the lack of love and justice. Do you think so? Do you agree? I think if we truly know what the idea of love is and truly know what the idea of justice is, we would see something a little different. So let me tell you this, that when if we were raised to love and appreciate everything about ourselves and everything about everybody else, we would be living in a whole different world, wouldn't we? We go to school and everything becomes competitive. Instead of seeing that wherever somebody is at is where they're at. And whatever they're doing is the best that they can do. And if we live from that place, it's a whole different thing. We find love and justice balanced throughout our lives. But all of these examples that I'm telling you about are missing one thing. And you know what the one thing is? The one thing is God. It's missing God. Because if we could always turn on the idea that we are one with God, none of that stuff would exist. Because jealousy and unjust and unfair does not exist in the realm of God. Do you believe that? Because God is good. God doesn't see any of that. This is the human condition we have created. So we've taken this idea of God putting us on this earth as this perfect being, no matter what we look like or what we have or don't have or what we know or don't know, and changed it by our own human condition and the conditions around us. We have to go back to that idea of God being the essence of who we are, if you want to say that. Any situation that we amp up with negative energy is just going to keep building negative energy. Anything that we want to turn on with love and the light of God and seeing the Christ in another, seeing and beholding true love in another, will change the whole world. It will illuminate the whole world. I found this little bit in How to Let God Help You, Myrtle Fillmore's book, and it's one chapter on justice. And that's what got me started on this message. But the very first line in that chapter says, God is infinite justice. God is infinite justice. Say it with me, please. God is infinite justice. And then Myrtle went on to say, speak this. Think about it. Study it word by word. Pray for understanding of its real meaning. If we could truly know that God was infinite justice, then we would always see everything that is happening in the world as good. Somebody else gets a raise, somebody else wins the lottery, somebody else does this. We would be happy for them. We would be excited. We would feel like we have won the prize. We would feel like we are too celebrating with them. And that kind of energy is good energy. Is energy that changes the world in a positive direction. We wouldn't have any thoughts at all of lack or something being stolen from us or that we weren't good enough or that, our parents loved one child more than the other. None of those thoughts would ever exist because we would see God as infinite justice. And see, a lot of people have taken this statement and taken it and turned it into like, oh yeah, God's going to come down and punish you. God is going to punish you for those things you're doing. Not true. God doesn't punish anybody. God is infinite justice, seeing all things working for the highest good for all. And if we could start seeing that way, our worlds would be changed. I guarantee you. So let's break it down a bit. God is, I love this. We could stop right there. We could. I did a class once and I that popped into my head it was in an SE class, spiritual enrichment class. And God is popped in my head. And I thought, yeah, we could stop right there. And so that became my mantra for a long time. I bet 6 months or whatever. Anytime anything ever happened, I just said, God is. I said, if it was something good or something bad, I said, God is. And it was so powerful. I mean, it was almost as if I could feel this, like a water wheel, if you will, inside of me, just churning and starting out real slow and just dumping the garbage out of me and just building some power within me that was so great. Because when you say God is in every situation, your focus changes so much to where you no longer go, oh, or darn it. You won't. You start going, God is. And then it's like, it's okay. It's okay, whatever's happening around me is okay. Infinite. The definition of infinite is limitless or endless in space, extent, or size. Impossible to measure or calculate. So in other words, unlimited. God is infinite. God is unlimited. We all know this. We're all true students. We know this. But are we living that every day of our lives? Are we saying, God is unlimited? God is infinite? No, we're not. Because we keep stepping back into that pool of lack. But when we get out of that pool of lack and say, God is unlimited. We're not saying it to like, okay, Bill's God. Well, he is kind of. He's got an expression. But we're not saying God is unlimited. Only Bill is unlimited. No. We're saying we're all unlimited. We're all able to be in that place of receiving our riches, no matter what they are. It's funny that Sandy brings up that idea of what Joel Osteen said this morning that she listened to. Because I'm going to say something similar to that in a minute, but we have to start believing that God is unlimited in order to get that new campus. Justice, just behavior or treatment. This is where our human condition starts twisting the idea of justice. A genuine respect for people. But we go back up there to that just behavior or treatment. By golly, somebody else got treated better than me, and that's not fair. That's not justice. I want my justice, and I want it now. I was in first grade, and somebody kicked me on the playground. I want my justice, and I want it now. So stupid. I'm sorry. It's not stupid, but it's silly. Justice is respect for all people. That's including yourself. That includes everybody. And the only way we change it, the only way we change the just behavior or treatment is to change it within ourselves, our own vision of what that looks like. Because if we can't change it from within ourselves, it's never going to be any different. We're still going to have people, make fun of us, or people say stuff to us that we're going to go like this because we are carrying around that baggage. Well, all of it is possible for us to live from that place. It really is. But I thought this was really pretty cool because I found this letter, and it's a letter from Myrtle, which is dated Wednesday, November 1st at 3 p.m. They always put the time on there back in the day. 1899. And it was from Unity Headquarters, Kansas City, Missouri. And this is where she wrote her prayer letters, the beginning days of Silent Unity, back to people. But I thought this was really cool. And so this is Mrs. Stark, and she's asking Myrtle this question. If we hold that we are God manifest, we must also look upon our neighbor as God manifest, must we? Must we not? Then, if we see him showing forth unlovingness, if we see him showing forth hate and malice and jealousy and revenge and cruelty, it is not him I have to forgive, but myself, is it not? It is said we cannot see in another what is not in ourselves. So it seems to me that it is ourselves we need to look after. And Mrs. Fillmore, they said, responds, it is not the personality which we see that is God manifest. The personality is only a mask and conceals the true child of God, while individually is what I really am. This individuality is what I am trying to bring forth into manifestation in every act and deed, in every thought and word. That is the Christ who is created in the image and likeness of God. And this personality, this mask, is the reflection of the ideas and beliefs I have held about myself as a miserable worm of the dust, subject to all the ills of life. No one would think of holding up the mask and declaring that it is God, made in the image and likeness of God. So we look right through the mask and see our understanding of the Christ child and speak of it as if it is the real self. And by holding it in our minds as the real of us, we bring it forth more and more into manifestation till we show forth the perfect image and likeness of God. Isn't that beautiful? I think it gives us a clearer understanding of who we need to look at, who we need to change or see differently in order to change and see differently a new world, or to see justice in the world. It's ourselves, isn't it? We have to look at ourselves and say, what is it that we are holding on to that's keeping us from moving forward in receiving all the good that is waiting for us? We have to be the ones to realize that whatever we are on this physical plane, whatever we have held on to, is nothing more than the mask. It's kind of like the poems that we use when somebody makes a transition. This is just clothing for our spiritual bodies. and we discard that clothing when we make our transition, when we die. But we are still that spiritual entity going forth. And so even though we're in this physical form right now, we still have to take that spiritual essence of who we are, that individuality, that oneness with God, and bring that forth into manifestation. It doesn't matter if I dress perfectly, but it does matter if I act perfectly. It does matter if I open up my arms to all people and see that all people are perfect just the way they are. That I respect and hold each person in the love of God. That's what's important. Doesn't matter if I have new shoes on, new car. Doesn't matter if I win the lottery. Doesn't matter. It's what's within me that I want to bring forth that matters. If we see hate and discrimination and live from that unjust world where we think everything's not fair, guess what our world's going to be? It's going to be hate and discrimination and thinking negative and being in that mess all the time. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want it for anybody. The good news is, though, because God is infinite justice, you can always change the causes you set into operation and so change the results. It is always measured to you as you yourself measure by your attitude and acts. It's true, isn't it? Yeah. Well, a few months ago, we sometimes with this, we say, oh yeah, okay, that's cool, and how do I change this? How do I make a difference? We know the law of mind action, thoughts held in mind produce outcome, but how do we change it? How do we really do it? Well, a few months ago, like a month ago, in the message I was talking about SMART goals, and I was saying how SMART goals need to have a spiritual aspect. And SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based goals. And then when the next day, Neil Raffin sent me an email saying, I rewrote SMART goals for you. And here's what she wrote. I call them spiritual SMART goals. Spirit-inspired, manifestable. She said, I don't know if that's a word. And I said, I don't care. It's a word now. Affirming, right-minded for the good of all involved, timely, on God's time. Don't you love that? Yeah. And really, if everything that we do each day, we align to these spiritual SMART goals, we would be on fire, I'm telling you. We could bring forth anything that we wanted to manifest in the world because we would know that we are aligned with God. And all we have to do is click those ideas in our head. SMART goals, oh yeah, I want to be spiritual, I want to manifest, I want to affirm, I want to have right-minded for the good of all involved, and then I know it's going to happen in the right time at the right place. I don't have to worry about that coming forth. Everybody's ideas, everybody's desires are in a book this thick in the other room. And those ideas that everybody has put into that pool, when we did that whole collage on the wall and everything, it's going to come into manifestation. I know it. Whatever time that will be God's time, and it'll be the perfect time, and we will all be celebrating together. But I thought this went so good with my message because we do need to put everything together to have a path, to have a plan, to go forth, to know what we need to do in life. What is it that you desire within you that sets you on fire and brings forth your passion? Put it to that spiritual SMART goal and you will make it happen. Whatever it is. We get sidetracked with all the stuff around us. We get sidetracked with what we think we want to do. Oh, I want to go to this place to go eat. Simple example. You go there and there's a 30-minute wait and you're sitting there going, oh God, I wish they'd hurry up. Well, silly choice, wasn't it? You could have easily gotten in the car and gone to another restaurant and eaten something else. Or you could be happy and sit there and share with whoever you went to eat with and enjoy that 30 minutes of visiting and having fun. But typically we sit there and complain about it taking too long to get our table, don't we? So, we have to, on simple things in life, we can't complain. We can't go to that place of making it crazy or making it all unfair or unjust. This new campus, I know it's going to happen at the right time and at the right place. But you know what? It is going to take something. It's going to take some energy from all of us. It's not going to be just, poof, wait, I need a magic wand is what I need. Right? I got one somewhere with a star on the top. I gotta find that. But, because, you know, it is gonna take all of us to make it happen. And so my question is, what kind of goal have you set for the vision that you have for this new campus? What are you doing to make it happen? What intention or goal have you set? I love this phrase, energy flows where intention goes. Create your way, your day. And that's the truth. I don't expect any of you to go out there and get a shovel and start digging the basement. I don't expect that. I don't. I don't even expect you to hire the guy to go out there and dig it. But what I do expect you to do is to hold that vision, not give up your faith, not give up on the idea that it's going to happen. And we want the best, don't we? I mean, this model has everything in it that everybody wanted. From the chapel to the platform, for the music guys, for the classrooms, for all the kids, for fellowship, everything. It has everything. So why don't we hold out for the best and the highest good and know it's going to come forth? It's going to take all of us holding that intention. It's not up to just Reverend Warren and I and the prayer chaplains and a few people peppered through the crowd. No. We all have to hold that intention. That's what that whole prayer service after service is about. And I want you to put it into your prayers that you are holding that vision to see it come forth for all of us. That the energy is going to be a positive energy coming forth and manifesting. It's as simple as those spiritual SMART goals. But I don't want you to do it. I only want you to do it, let me put it that way, if you have released all ill thoughts, thinking, words, and actions. And why do I say that? Because if you have any ill thoughts about anybody in this congregation, anybody, anything, guess what? You're dragging that garbage behind you and bringing it forth. I don't want it. I don't want it on this new campus. I don't want it to manifest in our lives. It's not just going to affect the new campus. It's going to affect all of us. So cut the strings to all the garbage you got dragging. Start living from that truth that God is within you. God is. That we can see beyond this physical body of what really is. It's that spiritual energy we bring forth in such a positive way. And it's simple because it is that law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Bring forth good thoughts. Bring forth positive thoughts. If you've said anything negative about this church, these people, the new campus, anything, just right now, just say, I release and let go. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you've said anything ever. Because from this moment on, you can move forward in a new positive energy. And you can change your whole world with this concept that Fillmore defined years ago, which is a practice of practical truth. If we live from that, once we clear our thoughts, justice isn't going to be a problem anymore. We're going to see justice in all things. And our spirit-filled goals will begin to appear. We will see spirit-inspired, manifestable, affirming, right-minded, and timely demonstrations of God's good everywhere. Our highest good will come forth. Do you believe that? Can I have an amen? Amen. Yes, please. Because it's going to be a new day, and today is the new day for this to happen. Today is a new day for all of us to bring forth that great energy and just see it happen in our lives, see it happen for this congregation, this church, this place we call Unity East. Let's see it happen. Let's vision whatever our vision is. Hold it in prayer each and every day and see it coming forth. It's amazing how powerful that could be. And you know what? That new campus, it might not look exactly like that little model right there, and that's okay. But it's going to be fabulous, and it's going to be lush, and it is going to be perfect for all of us. Do you believe that? I believe it. I so believe it. And you know what? It's going to come naturally with ease and grace because God wants to give us the good that we deserve. And we will be able to know and claim that we have made it to the place where justice is for all. Thank you for being here today. God bless you. All right. Now I got a song for you.